Last year, I took a look at the Serica 5303. I did mention that the crown was a little bit finicky. I ended up flipping it. It really bugged me. The haptics, it just wasn't for me. Some time passes, I start missing it. So I always check on Reddit every couple weeks, see if there's any used ones. By the way, just one more watch. When they dropped a video, it was not positive, and it really tanked the used price. So thank you, Jody, for maybe allowing me to buy one back for less. But today we got iPose. I am posing as a Serica 5303. The brand name makes sense. I think it's a factory brand. I don't see a website, and it comes with arguably a better movement. The PT5000 or SW200 or ETA. Now the iPose is significantly cheaper than the Serica. So that means it can't be as good, right? Well, we're gonna have to find out. I haven't filmed the macros yet, so I really don't know. So I'm curious. We're gonna crack it open. I got the ETA version, and we're gonna see if it's a real ETA together. All right, so let's check it out. So I already unboxed it, but I just want to show you what came with this watch. You get a bomb-proof Pelican style case, which is very nice. And this looks like a coaster, but it's actually the warranty card. 3 years of warranty. That's pretty good. Most Microbrands are 1 or 2 years. And you do get a flat head plus an extra NATO strap. So I picked this one up from watchdives.com, and they do sell many other brands like San Martin, so that's cool. Now let's get into it. The first thing we're gonna discuss is the elephant in the room. This thing looks exactly like a Serica 5303, which isn't a bad thing. When you make a beautiful watch, you know what? It's most likely going to get cloned. It happened to Rolex, it happened to Seiko, and it even happened to Zelos and Boulder, and I'm sure many other Microbrands. Introducing the IX and DAO 5305 dive watch. The case finishing is well done here with laser sharp transition from brushing to high polish. The sides are completely brushed, and the lug design is the iconic Lyre lug, made popular by the legendary Pole Router and the 1964 Speedmaster. So these lugs are famous, beautiful, and they do taper down nicely. Now the moment you've all been waiting for, is this the exact same case? Let's do those measurements. I got 39.9 millimeters in diameter, so that's a bigger diameter by about 1 millimeter. On the Watch Dives website, it says it's 39, but I couldn't get 39. Maybe my calipers are broken. But the thickness is spot on with the Serica, coming in at about 12.2, 12.3, including that gorgeous domed sapphire crystal with clear anti-reflective coating. It gives you that distortion, and I'm a big fan of it. Now the lug to lug is also different, coming in at 48 millimeters. When I reviewed the 5303 last year, I measured at 46 millimeters, and I believe the Serica website says 46.5. So this one has a longer reach. Overall, it's a bigger watch, but those Lyre lugs with that high polished design element minimize that added length of this new IX plus DAO. Man, that name, I'm just gonna call it iPose. It's so much easier. Now that bezel is a thing of beauty. I love the inner stainless steel dual time function. I use it a lot, and the outer section is ceramic, and there is a difference with the Serica. The Serica does not have the number 50 here, okay? It just has hash marks. But it does have the same sapphire protection over the loom pip. Now, speaking of the bezel, how does it feel? How does it sound? The bezel feel is not as buttery and soft as the Serica. This one turns with a little bit more of a clicky nature, but I'm not mad about it. I kind of like it. It's not like those ultra tactile, rough, clicky Seiko homages like on the Rectangula. Now, usually the homage has a lower grade movement than the original, but in this case, you can argue that this one is better. It has an option for the ETA 2824, coming in at a price of $399 USD. That is about $750 less than the Soprod Serica, which is a new movement that has some teething issues. Some people don't like the haptic feedback of the minute hand. It's not as precise, and sometimes when you pull out the crown, it does not hack. Now, Serica did make a fix. On my personal 5303, the fix was on and off. Sometimes it would work, sometimes it would not. Here, as you can see, perfect every time, and the haptics are excellent. I cracked it open, and yes, it is in fact an ETA 2824. I think now that the Swatch Group has their custom ETA 2824s, where you can't regulate it with the screw and they're adding silicone, maybe they're okay now with selling the base tier movements. But if you want to save even more, the PT5000 is an excellent clone. I've only heard good things at $259 USD, or the Sellita SW200 $329 USD. Both are excellent options, but I'm going to recommend the PT5000 or the ETA 2824. Now, another difference, the date. This one has a date at the 6 o'clock, while the Serica is a no date. And it is a known fact that dates always sell more than no dates. People just gravitate towards them. It's a very useful complication. So I'm a big fan of the upgrades with the movement and the date. I think iPos can even charge a little bit more and add the top chronometer grade ETA. Would anyone be interested in that? Let me know down below. So the crown is a screw down crown and it works flawlessly even with gloves. So very happy about that. But here is the kicker. This one only has 200 meters of water resistance, while the Serica has 300. So you're losing 100 meters of water resistance. For me, the $750 is worth more than the extra 100 meters of water resistance. The case back has all the specs. It's very simple, but it has that nice regal crest and IXDAO engraved in the center. Now the bracelet seems like the exact same. It's 20 millimeters, tapering down to 15.5, and it's absolutely unique. I love how the solid end link fits on the case. It just gives the watch such a unique identity. And it's pretty flexible. You're going to have a tough time fitting this if your wrist is smaller than 6.5 inches. It does have that Casio style flip lock system with little indents for adjustments. This one is just as difficult to put on, but you will get used to it. Practice over a soft surface or a bed and thank me later. Now the loom, if I remember correctly, exact same as the Serica, with many layers printed on in a 3D format. This one is C3 and it glows decently. Now the dial, I think on the website it says enamel. This doesn't look like enamel to me. It just looks like a flat matte dial, but it still looks fantastic. And I love the red 200 meters, how it matches the red minutes on the bezel. That's a nice cohesive touch. And with the broad tip hour hand and sword style minute hand, legibility is fantastic here. We got a black chapter ring and Friends of iPos for some weird reason beside the 6 o'clock. Okay, so that's yeah. Okay, we're gonna check her out on the Timegrapher ETA 2824 hack hand wind automatic 25 joules 28.8 VPH with 38 hours of power reserve. We got a powerful amplitude 324, little bit of beat error 0.3, and the fourth and final round plus 1 second a day. All right, we're gonna do 12 down now to see that positional variance. How will the watch actually perform when you wear it? And the amplitude did drop 285, beat error 0.3 milliseconds. Now let's look at the rate. We got +6, +1, +1, and the fourth and final round +1. Now some of you may know this story. There is a famous microbrand started in 1988. husband and wife. Just like Laurier of today, husband and wife team. They wanted the classical look of a watch, but they did not want to pay high Swiss watch prices. They made their watches in Hong Kong and they sold them in Japan. And in 1994, when they made an automatic watch, they made the world's first open heart dial. They did not patent it. A year later, China copied it, but do you know where that brand is today? They have over 30 in-house movements. They're owned by a billion-dollar company. They got an incredible atelier in Switzerland, and you may know them as Frederic Constant. So will this hurt Serica or other microbrands? I'm gonna say no. There's a market for both. Some people are going to want the Homage always, and they always want to pay less. But some people will just want the original. With maybe a little bit better QC, the microbrands usually have an in-house watchmaker. I'm not so sure about the factory brands. Also, if Serica is satisfying their customers and they're doing a good job, they're going to be around no matter what, even if 100 more companies copy their watch. So that's business, that's the world we live in. It's unfortunate. Let me know how you feel. This topic is touchy, and I know some of you may get fired up. But guys, if you're still here, that means you love watches. And I got 2 videos that you will love on the right of your screen right now. And I'll see you in the next one.